All right, Evan Lazar from Foxborough, and hey, that didn't look like it was going to go the Patriots' way. For those of you just tuning in right now, it's Patriots post-game show. Evan Lazar is somewhere tucked away at Gillette Stadium right now. Patriots post-game press conferences are about to get underway, but we're going to talk about what we just all witnessed there, which was a game it looked like Cam Newton had thrown away. Giving it to the Cardinals with a horrible interception late in the fourth quarter. Zane Gonzalez misses a very makeable field goal. Patriots get the ball back, drive just close enough into Nick Folk's 51-yard field goal range, and he sneaks a 50-yarder through the upright, fires, and that's it, Evan. Patriots win this one. 2017 improved to 5-6 on the season. Let's first talk about what we saw late in the game, how this all transpired. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of the game. Terrific game by the defense. Really awful game by Cam Newton on a lot of different ways, and we will talk about it. He's not absolved, but this almost, Evan, turned into the fifth time in 6 games where he had the ball in his hands and gave it away, and he did, and it was a horrible INT. But again, it's a win. We'll focus on the positive to start. So, Evan, just talk through here the end of the game and just everything that transpired that led to this Patriots win.
Well, I thought that this was one of the better performances by the Patriots defense all season long and containing Kyler Murray. And finally, I think a lot of us have been clamoring to see some of the zero blitzes, some of the pressure packages that we've seen over the last couple of years. Didn't see them a whole lot in the first 10 weeks of the season. Finally, the Patriots defense feel comfortable in week 12 to bring out some of those zero blitzes and exotic schemes up front, get after Kyler Murray. I thought there were numerous times in this game where Kyler Murray looked confused as to what he was looking at exactly from the Patriots defense, the coverage rotations, the pressures up front. It wasn't completely a clean game by Kyler either. So I thought there was a lot of confusion there. On the offense side of the ball, one of the worst offensive performances of the year for the Patriots. They couldn't run the football because Arizona was loading the box. Then they couldn't make them pay by throwing the football because Cam Newton had an off game. But they finally had that one call at the end of the game. It was a read option play. I don't know if it was zone or gap read. I have to see a replay. But they blitzed the safety. Budda Baker came right down. We talked about it all week long that the Cardinals were going to be really heavy with the safety blitzes. They blitzed the safety off the edge. They lost containment of Cam Newton on the option play, and he kept it out the back door, and that was that big play of the drive. And then finally they got the penalty tacked on, and they get
your thoughts on that penalty, Evan? I know, again, he was in bounds, and it's a quarterback, but I don't know. Right. I mean, I don't know if that was helmet to helmet or what, but it was marginal, I thought.
It was a brutal game by the referees all around, really, and I thought that on that hit, it was such a big hit, and it was close enough to the head. I think that they knew that after all the mess ups that they made on the other side of the ball, with the Patriots on the gunner return, for example, that took 4 points off the board. They eventually got the field goal on that drive instead of a touchdown. A couple of those penalties I thought on Arizona's drive to tie the game, a couple holding calls. Jason McCourty clearly held. Thought Stephon Gilmore got really kind of screwed over on a couple of calls there on that drive. The DPI that got called both ways, and the holding call in the end zone. When you have Hopkins versus Gilmore, it's two guys just kind of going head to head, two of the best in the game. Just sort of let them play it out. If there's something egregious, then obviously you call it. But these ticky-tack holds and DPIs and stuff like that they called a couple on Gilmore, I think is really hit or miss there.
I mean, look at what we saw in this game from the officiating standpoint only. And this, again, would have been a huge topic in the game if the Patriots lose. But, okay, I get letter of the law. It's perhaps that the right call is made on the it was Jennings, right?
Yes.
On the Anthony Jennings block there on the gunner touchdown, which again, it's what do you expect? If you're watching it football and you're using common sense, what do you expect the guy to do there? He's going to crack back. He's going to make a play.
Right.
The alternative is to let the guy tackle him. I know what you're saying is the right football play is just kind of set a pick, just get in his way,
correct,
slow him down enough because you know that they're going to call that violent hit, or they might call it. But you're looking at things you just don't see happen very often in NFL games, which is basically a penalty is facing another guy and they're calling it a blindside block, and then offsetting interference penalties, which was just a ridiculous call. Just let that, what offsetting pass interference penalties are? No call. It's no penalty. It's no flag, not two flags. That was ridiculous there.
And again,
especially with how much it favored the offense to have.
it favors the offense because you replay it down. That was an incomplete pass.
Right, exactly. So it's 3rd and 3
It's a
instead of
bailout.
being 4th and 3. You get the no call or kind of the washout call that gives them another 3rd and 3, and they pick it up with Kyler on the ground the next play. And that was a brutal call for the Patriots. The Jennings thing, I know a lot of Patriots fans are extremely frustrated by that call. And it's even questionable if it was called correctly by the letter of the law when you look back at the play, because he really didn't initiate contact necessarily. It was kind of a mutual contact type of situation. But when you're working your way back towards the end zone, whether you turn or you get momentum towards your own end zone, you can't block backwards. You can't block back into the field like that. They made that rule to protect guys. I don't know if it necessarily does protect guys, but that's why the rule is there. And it's a bad rule. It's a bad written rule that really puts the refs in a tough position to make a quick judgment call just like that. So I think overall, the refs really had a terrible game for both teams and were extremely wishy-washy and really ruined the entire flow of a game that wasn't going to necessarily be a great offensive game anyways, but any semblance of sort of flow or continuity from this game went out the door once all the flags started coming out.